What's going on, YouTube? Happy quarantine. How's everybody doing? I hope you guys are all staying full of vitamins and full of water. You know, nice and hydrated. At the end of the day, toilet paper and paper towels are not going to save your life. Vitamins and water. Vitamins and water. Vitamins and water. Say it with me. Anyways, this is the next Insecure review. This is season 4, episode 4. Low-key thankful. Can't even believe we already on episode 4, bro. What is happening? Has it already really been a month since Insecure premiered? Anyway, this episode is about Thanksgiving and how each and every person on the show spends their Thanksgiving. So we open up with Lawrence. He's talking to himself in the mirror. He's trying to do a business type of situation to make sure he's prepared because he has a big meeting coming up at work. And then Canola Oil, aka Condola, her big loud ass alarm wakes everybody up, meaning her, and then scares the shit out of Lawrence. And he's like, yo, that's not a healthy way to wake up. But apparently she's a very heavy and hard sleeper. Then they get to talk about Thanksgiving plans. You know, what are you doing? She's like, oh, nothing major, nothing serious. And, you know, she's talking about she's going to have a Friendsgiving and she's hosting something at her house. And he says he wants to be there. She didn't invite him. He invited himself. Then we get into Issa and Molly. They're in the store, they're shopping, and they're at the market. And the tension is there, but they're not identifying it. They don't really get to the elephant in the room, but the elephant is right behind them. You know, and they're having casual conversation, but you can tell it's not the Issa and Molly that we're used to. It's not the back and forth banter that we're used to. They're not really like sisters. They kind of act like awkward co-workers now. Kind of like, I love you, but I don't like you that much right now. And that's really what it is with these two. They love each other, but they don't like each other right now. Eventually, they get down to talking about the awkwardness between them. Is there something off? And they say, well, let's talk about it on Thanksgiving. Issa usually goes over to Molly's house, her parents' house, the family house, and goes and gets pie every year on this particular holiday. And Issa brings up Condola somehow, some way, and then Molly's like, I can't believe you act like that's not awkward still. So basically, Molly is still holding a grudge. She still thinks that this is a problem that Issa and Condola have a friendship while Condola is dating Issa's ex, Lawrence. And truth be told, it's really not any of Molly's business, but she thinks it is for some reason. Issa and her brother Amal have to go over to their mother's house for Thanksgiving. And we get the biggest surprise. Their mother, we finally meet their mom after all these seasons and these last few years. We finally get to see who Issa's mother is. And it is none other than the legend, Wendy Raquel Robinson, a.k.a. Regina Piggy Greer, a.k.a. Tasha Mack, a.k.a. every other damn role that we've known her for the last 20 some odd years. She's on this show and she's Issa's mother, and I probably couldn't have found anybody better. The only person I think that could have played her mother better is Jennifer Lewis, just because she's Jennifer Lewis. But Wendy Raquel is perfect. Sidebar. Shout out to Issa Rae for putting Terry J-Kwon on this season, who played Lovita Alizé Jenkins Robinson on the Steve Harvey Show with Wendy Raquel Robinson. And you guys know that Lovita used to call her boss lady and all of that stuff. So just a little black trivia, you know, a little information there for those that do know the show and for those that don't know. Anyway, they get to Issa's mother's house and she and Maul see an ambulance. They think something's wrong with their mother. It's not. It's their mom's boyfriend. He hurt himself. He slipped in loose gravy, but Jesus said no, apparently, according to Issa's mother. So they go to the ambulance. They're supposed to stay at the house and bond with, forgot their boyfriend, the mother's boyfriend's name, but either way, they don't like him like that. They're supposed to stay there and bond with his kids. They don't care for the kids like that either. Apparently they're twins. Apparently Keisha alopecia, and I guess the other twin has like a buck tooth or something like that. They were real rude and they just don't care, so they just left and went to a Mexican restaurant for Thanksgiving. So that's where Amal and Issa landed. We get to Condola's Friendsgiving, and then we see everybody there, and then we see Robin Thede there from a Black Lady sketch show, and then we've seen her in a million other things. Don't forget she was on Real Husbands of Hollywood, you know, so she's everywhere. She's one of Issa's, you know, good friends in the game, and, you know, a great co-worker, as we see as well, because they go back and forth on different shows with each other, and, you know, all that good stuff. Robin Thede is very talented. She actually had her own show on BET. Long story short, we see this party going on, and Robin Thede's character is extremely drunk and really loud and really extra. And Lawrence is there. He's trying to make an impression. He's doing very well. He fixes Condola's sink when he's over there as well. And he shows up all nice and all clean cut. And she's like, wow, you really came through with it. You know what I'm saying? And then during the conversations, wine is, being had by everybody, and Lawrence is like, okay, let me go fill everybody up. The drunk friend, played by Robin Thede, follows Lawrence to the kitchen and kind of lets it out of the bag that, Condola's just having fun. She's divorced, and she really wasn't doing well, but she's having fun with you. Lawrence, of course, being his typical over-analytical self, kind of takes it the wrong way, and we'll get into that later. Back in Molly's house, we see her two brothers, her mother, her father, and then her two brothers, one with the stripper girlfriend, and then the other one who has a baby on the way, but it's not really his. And it's just the most awkward Thanksgiving that you'd want to see. Molly still has tension with her father because she found out that he had an affair last season. Meanwhile, she went on to have an affair with Dro, a married man, even though his relationship with his wife, with Candace, was allegedly open. We never heard that from Candace, though. Pay attention. We never heard her say that their marriage was open. It was only from Dro. Then she got pregnant. We ain't seen them since, but I'm hoping they resurface later in the season. Anyway, so we get over there, and if people caught it last season, Molly's the only kid that's allowed to share these certain snapples with her father. And she no longer wants to do that. She doesn't want to be his partner in Taboo. She just does anything and everything to evade, avoid, and get away from this man. She doesn't feel the same way that she used to. She's holding a grudge. Molly does this a lot. Molly, when she does not agree with something, or you've made a mistake, or you have a character flaw, you are suddenly not good enough. You don't measure up. You are not there. You're not in the level. You're not in the box that she needs you to be in. From Molly's point of view, her perception of reality is jacked. Again, she's done this to Issa. She has done this to her coworker. She has done this to Andrew. She has done this to Jared. She does this to anybody that does not meet Molly's standards. You are not good enough anymore. And pay attention to people like that in your life, because they are cancerous. You cannot have people around that feel like you're just not good enough. Anyway, Molly's brother realizes that she's treating her father this way. And he's like, why are you acting this way? Mom had to experience it. He changed, he grew up, he fixed it, it's done with, get over it. People make mistakes, but people also change. Let it go. Back when Issa and Amal are having dinner at the Mexican restaurant, she mentions the fact that she saw Condola and Lawrence at a restaurant earlier in the episode. And, Lawrence and Issa had their little typical banter, little joke. Not really a flirt, but more so just a joke, and it was kind of comfortable, but still casual joking. Condola walks up, and that's where it got awkward. So Molly may have had a point about it being awkward, but there's still not an issue with the fact that Condola and Issa are friends, because they are good friends. Condola seems a little bit uncomfortable with the fact that they were joking back and forth. Issa's in there watching J-Kwon, finding J-Kwon on BET on her computer, and then her and Lawrence have a little joking game back and forth. Lawrence says, are you staying? And then she's like, oh no, I'm getting my food to go. Or Condola, either way, asked if she was staying. Turns out she was staying. She was not getting her food to go. They kept calling, and then they said, order for Issa for here. Issa grabs her food with no bag, grabs the plate and the cup, and walks out the restaurant. But she looks back and sees Lawrence and Condola, and it looks like she's like, damn, I do want that back, which is what we end up seeing. Issa kind of does feel that way because she mentions it to them all. She got the guy that I suffered to have, that I built. I got the guy with potential. She gets the guy that takes her out, pays for lunch. I didn't get any of that. Back at Molly's house, they're also mentioning the fact that Molly has a new boyfriend and that he is of a different descent. This guy is not black. He is Asian. So Molly shows the picture. Her mother sees, her brother sees. And then her mom's like, well, why didn't you bring him around? Issa said it might be too much. It might be too soon, and that I might scare him off. Molly honestly has other issues than bringing somebody around the family too soon, and that's just what that is. Molly has issues of her own. Bringing them around the family would have been the least of her worries, so she should have just done it. But this is where her and Issa are. They give each other bad advice because they're really not in tune with each other at this point, and they have agreed to talk their issues out on Thanksgiving. Turns out Issa sends a message saying, listen, I may or may not be there. Something happened. So then she texts Molly, lets her know she'll be late. Back at the dinner with Amal and Issa, they're having conversations about not changing for people. And it looks like when Amal tells her not to change for anybody, she has this epiphany about her and Molly. And it seems like Molly wants her to change. So later in the episode, we see that Issa's dropping her brother off. And she's like, hey, I'm just not going to make it at all. Back at Condola's house, Lawrence is talking to Condola, and basically he let it be known that, listen, I had a conversation with your drunk friend. Basically, it seems like I'm just a fuck buddy. She's like, well, that's not true. Okay, but you said you don't want to get married again, you don't want a family. She's like, well, yeah, I just got divorced a year and a half ago. It all comes down to exes. Do you still love your ex? She's like, I don't love my ex. Do you still love yours? Because at the end of the day, you probably wouldn't be here had she not cheated. I should be worried about your ex. Y'all still have jokes. Y'all still have the same friends. Y'all still converse. You probably wouldn't have left Issa had she not cheated. And he stands there thinking, and that's where the scene leaves off. Lawrence still loves Issa. It didn't even end to a point where they didn't love each other. They just had issues that they didn't talk about, fix, or work out. In the midst of the episode, we see the rest of the characters like Kelly, who's waiting on her aunts to come over to the family house. She invites crazy ass Trina from Issa's apartment complex and her son Benjamin. So I'm assuming that Kelly and Trina must have bonded at Issa's party at the courtyard that day. Tiffany and Derek have their Thanksgiving. And elsewhere in the episode, towards the very, very end, we see Lawrence going through his Snapchat at home or his Instagram, and he sees everybody's snaps, and he sees Issa in the mall having their Thanksgiving at the Mexican restaurant. He hits Issa up, and they begin to play Maya, Case of the X. And that's one of the best things about this show, is that Issa and the musical directors like Solange, Melina, and Raphael Sadiq, they incorporate old and new music. It's actually the 20th anniversary of Maya's Fear of Flying album and Case of the X, which was a big single, her biggest hit. And the way it dropped, it was almost like a brand new record. It was like, oh damn, like it almost came out on iTunes tonight, but it's 20 years ago. And it was the perfect song to play at the end because these two are exes, and he's with Condola, and Condola was worried about this thing. She was worried about having a case of the X. Anyways, guys, I know it was all over the place, but that's just what we do. It was rushed. I just watched the episode twice because I watch it twice. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Do you think that Issa and Lawrence will get back together? Where do you see Molly and Issa's friendship headed? What do you see happening on the next episode? What are you guys' thoughts on Molly holding grudges and, you know, her perception of reality and people? Anyways, guys, until next week on the next episode, later.